Virtue, official partner of Sunderland AFC.
Sport, it's not just a game. It's in your DNA. Like us, you live and breathe every moment. You dissect, navigate, and analyze. At SpreadX, we bring you a world of betting, where flexibility and precision are at your fingertips. With real-time analysis across all devices, wherever you are. Enjoy sports betting that's data-driven. Next level action. SpreadX, it's in our DNA.
opportunity here. Oh, how cool is that? How cool is that? From Chris Rigg.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Stadium of Light. It's a 3 p.m. kickoff. Sunderland versus Plymouth Argyle. I am back alongside Danny. Our thanks to Dan for covering me on Tuesday night. There was good reason for that because Sunderland became a music city officially on Tuesday. So that's where I was, Danny. I wasn't skiving. I was doing some other work somewhere
busy
else.
Man. You're always a busy man, aren't you?
Yeah. Let's give you the team news then for everyone joining us around the world because there's been some changes for Sunderland. And changes that you probably would expect as well for Plymouth, coming off the back of a 5-0 defeat as well. But Danny, talk us through the team, please.
Yeah, 5 changes for Plymouth, as you say, Frankie, as you'd expect after that drubbing 5-0 defeat at home to Burnley in midweek. But yeah, from ourselves, a couple of changes. As you mentioned, full debut for Samed coming into the midfield there. I think Dan Neil will probably push on, and I think a lot of fans would probably like to see Dan Neil push it on a little bit more, give him a licence to
he's
go
got
join
the ability to score,
he
hasn't
certainly
he?
has,
He saw it
yeah.
earlier this season.
Yeah, he's got a pass in him, hasn't he, as well, so I think he can go and play a little bit higher up there alongside Job this afternoon. Patrick coming in on that right-hand side as well, so Mayenda and Chrissy Rigg dropping down to the bench, as we were at the back, and left-hand side, I think Luffy, again, will start out on that left-hand side. Yeah,
well, we will reflect, of course, on Tuesday night in a moment. But what does that side say to you? Does that show the strength and depth at the moment we've got?
It does. If I'm honest, I'm studying. I think I'm a little bit surprised that he hasn't maybe gone with a 4-4-2 with Mayenda and Isidore through the middle. I think these are coming up here. They haven't won away from home. They've in 14 games, they've conceded 35. They've scored 3 on the road, so they're minus 32 for goals. And I'm thinking, let's get after them with your two flyers at the top end of the pitch, but he knows better than me. That's what he's gone for this afternoon. Obviously, Patrick had a rest in the week, and then he comes back in on that right-hand side this afternoon. And as we said, in the middle of the park there, we've gone with that 3 in the middle. I think they maybe go 3-5-2, so it's going to be congested in there with both midfields packed up. But yeah, so listen, if we start well, if we get an early goal, you'd imagine their heads will go down and they'll be thinking, oh no, here we go again.
Yes, okay, that's your Sunderland starting 11 for the first time this afternoon. I guess we should discuss Tuesday night. We'll get into the highlights in a moment, but a real opportunity for Sunderland this afternoon, Danny, given last night's results.
Massive shock, wasn't it, I think? Yeah, I know, credit to Hull. I watched the game. I thought Hull were excellent as well. Played on the counter-attack at times, moved the ball quite well as well through the middle of the park.
They haven't really done that this season, Hull.
No,
Let's be honest, they've been offered, haven't they?
No, change of manager as well. Coming, I think, under the previous manager, they too pedestrian, too slow at the back, as we've seen when we played them down at their place. Yes, we got the win 1-0, but they changed it last night, and I thought they moved the ball quite well. At Sheffield Wednesday, they weren't quite at it. Yes, they had 1 or 2 chances. Relying late on long throw-ins coming into the box, drop downs, but listen, it was a great result from our point of view, and obviously Leeds will be looking at it as well, and Leeds play Burnley on Monday night, don't they? So
someone's going to drop points there.
I think that'd be a draw would probably be a good result for us, but we've got to take care of business this afternoon.
Yeah, and I spoke to a lot of Sunderland fans on my way into the ground today and yesterday as well. The Sunderland of old, this might have been a bit of a banana skin potentially.
It still is. You know, look what happened at their place. I know it was earlier in the season. Even going down there that day, you fancied us, but we came off it second half. We had a 15-20 minute spell where we weren't at it, and we gave away some sloppy goals and we got punished. And that happens in football. Yes, listen, they haven't won on the road. We've not been beat here in the league so far this season. So everybody in the ground coming here this afternoon is expecting a Sunderland win. But if you turn up thinking that's going to happen, prime example, look what happened last night at Bramall Lane. Okay,
then let's have a look back at the game on Tuesday night. Yeah, I mean, there's a big talking point, which we'll come on to in good time. Yeah, but what did you make of Sunderland on Tuesday?
Listen, I thought early on it was cagey. I thought they actually started better than us up until this point, really, where Lefay gets to the byline and he pulls it back, and Dennis will be disappointed. It maybe bobbles in. I'll help Dennis out. It's bobbling into him a little bit, and he just got underneath it slightly. But then we came into the game a little bit more. I think we'll see them on. Isidore has in a minute a strike from 30-odd yards. The keeper parries. But then once we do manage to get the opening goal, this is the one now when he pulls the trigger from a distance, decent enough strike, warms the keeper's gloves. But as soon as we got the goal, we settled in and we controlled it for a good spell in that first half. But didn't really have to get out of second gear.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what was the kind of tempo like from Sunderland?
Yeah, we moved the ball quite well. I thought Derby had obviously caught. I think they had 5 defeats on the bounce going into it. They had a couple of good opportunities to see there from set pieces. I think Forsyth should have done better. Here's the goal now, so this sort of sums it up really. Chris Riggs loose with his pass, but credit to him, he goes and wins the ball back. Look at the reactions from the Derby players, not great to be honest. Joe picks it up, a good driving run. I think he's trying to thread it into Isadore's feet, but he just goes past the ball, and then in the end he actually does well just to flick it round the corner into the path of Meander. Great touch out of his feet, and then bang under the keeper. And it's good to see him with a little bit of composure, because he's had a few in recent weeks from a similar position, and he's thrashed at him, or he's a little bit off balance, got a little bit excited, but look, good composure, just a firm side foot finish through the keeper's legs, and that proved to be the difference.
Yeah. So did you feel like Sunderland had control of the game, pretty much all the way through?
No, certainly not. No, I've listened to a few people think, it was comfy. I didn't feel like in the second half. We'll get onto it in a minute. It was similar to Burnley for me, sort of 60 to 70 minutes, and they made changes where Burnley had a good spell in that stage at Turf Moor. They did as well here. They made a few changes. Blackett Taylor came off the bench, and he was a threat down the left-hand side, put balls into the box. The big lad came on, big Norwegian, couple of headers, and it was a bit of panic back there really.
He looks like he's going to be handy from set pieces.
Yeah, he's come in and he's taking control, isn't he really? Obviously Patrick's back out there this afternoon, so you've got that left foot, right foot balance as well. Options there to go both ways. But yeah, you can see he's a confident player, and there's been moments so far. You go back to his ball at Burnley, into Isadore's path, lovely ball in. Wilson perhaps should have scored, and he had a few moments in this game as well. I think if you ask him, and I think the fans would agree, he probably doesn't prefer playing out on that left-hand side, but he's coming straight into the side, and he's doing a job for the side. He'll want to play perhaps as an 8 or a 10, but we've got good numbers in there as well, so it's a good problem for Regis to have. And again, he's tweaked it again this afternoon. Obviously, as we said there, Samed coming into it as well. And just going back to the game, is Blackett Taylor now, so getting down the left-hand side. There was 3 or 4 balls within the space of 5-10 minutes. Here he goes again, stands another one up to the far post, and you see there, difficult for Luke, it's going away, he's backing up away from goal there, and as I said, lad comes over the top of him, decent header in between. See Anthony Patterson, he's got Mepham in behind him as well to take care of it, and then he goes again.
But nevertheless, it's another clean sheet for Pato, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is, yeah, excellent. You know what he's had to do well recently, even at Burnley, he didn't have a lot to do, but made a good save first half, and it tipped one round the post, didn't he? I think what fans will say, maybe it's just his kicking now and then, but everyone in this day and age wants to play that one where they push the fullbacks high and wide, and you've got to drop it on them on the touch side. And yes, he's kicked a few out of play, so you can see where the fans are having a little bit of a go. But in general, I think he's commanding his box a lot better these days, and his handling's pretty good. And he's a decent shot stopper, and obviously that's the job of a goalkeeper, isn't it? And it's the goal now, is the big talking point. So Dan Neil again, I thought was excellent there. Look at his link-up play, and then you can't quite see that. Well, you say you can't see it there. You can see Forsyth for me is a yard deeper than Wilson Isidore. The flag doesn't go up. The linesman runs the length of the pitch. He's kept his flag down. See it here now.
Seem to be walking away as well.
He's never offside.
No,
there.
never.
He's never offside. He allows Lafay to come onto it. He puts the brakes on. The defender then
coming together there.
Yeah, but he runs into the back of Wilson, so it's not as if Wilson's tripped him up. So he doesn't give a foul there. And then the other one. So there's 3 things here. Is he offside? No. Is it a foul here? This is a goal angle. So keep an eye on Wilson. He's in front of him, and then he changes direction. He runs into the back of him. That's a coming together. It's not a foul. And then the other one is it a handball? Well, not for me. No, he smashes it at him from a yard. We've seen a few in the Premier League recently, which haven't been given similar to that. So well, doing the comms, I couldn't understand. I'm still stood here now, and I know they've tried to make up some sort of excuse, the officials, and come out with some.
But the official line, Danny, it was offside.
Yeah, so they've tried to say, I think it's tried to say he's 8 centimetres offside. Well, it's the 4th official got his tape measure on the touchline there, because we haven't got VAR. So I'd like to know who's called it offside, because the linesman at no stage puts his flag up, right? And then, as he said, has he seen something on a monitor they're trying to say, and he's had a word with the referee? Well, I don't think that's allowed at championship level.
That's the thing, they're all celebrating. Derby are moving back into position as well.
Yeah, the linesman's on his way back to the halfway line as they do. He's never put his flag up there, so it's a baffling one. So you look at the 2 games, we've had obviously the 2 missed penalties and all that going on down at Turf Moor. Then we've had that incident there. Unfortunately, from our point of view, and certainly for the officials, we won the game 1-0. Imagine if that was 0-0, and that would have been the goal that won us the 3 points. So they've got away with the officials. Unfortunately, from our point of view, it's a good return from us. As you say there, 3 clean sheets on the bounce.
Yeah, that's
3
big,
points
isn't
in
it?
the bag. Massive, yeah, of course it is. Yeah, getting back to clean sheets, and obviously, nicking the odd goal on the road. It's fantastic, yeah. And we should have won at Burnley as well. So it's been a good week. And then obviously, you're back on home turf, up against the side, sat bottom of the table, struggling under a new manager. You'd fancy us, but you can't just turn up and win games of football. You've got to earn the right.
And we want to try and keep that 100% record up in the league as well. No defeats in the league here this season. Another good chance to extend that, of course, today as well. But that's making a big difference for Sunderland. What do you make of the fact that none of the pundits are mentioning Sunderland for the top two?
Yeah, we discussed this the other night, really. It's a strange one, isn't it? You know, I've seen, I think Gary Lineker mentioned it, the three teams at the top, and I'm thinking we're a point or two behind them.
As a former player, Danny, would that be an incentive for you?
Yeah, exactly. The lads will have discussed it as well. You know, you listen to podcasts and no one's really mentioning us, but you go under the radar. All the pressure's on them. Leeds have probably got the most pressure on them. They were the favourites coming into the start of the season, and they're sat at the top of the table. I think they will go up in one of those two places. So you look then, it's between us, Sheffield United and Burnley. And I would say, are Burnley or are Sheffield United any better than us? And from what I've seen, I would say no. But we've got to keep churning out results, and there's a big opportunity today. As we said, Sheffield United slipped up last night. Burnley meet Leeds on Monday night, so this is a massive game this afternoon.
Right, we're going to try and do something we haven't done before, which is I'm going to try and interview a musician and then have a musician come out in the ball and on the stream as well. This week, Sunderland was given Music City status, and to celebrate that, we're going to be joined pitch side by Patrick Gosling. Patrick, just come over here for a quick chat if you don't mind. Okay then, Patrick. So, Sunderland's been given Music City status this week, a huge accolade for the city.
Yeah, it's amazing, you know.
And you get to play in a stadium show. Hopefully we're going to bring live music to match days more often as well. Are you optimistic about the opportunities which this will bring for musicians in the city?
I hope so. You know, it's not every day you get to play in a stadium, so it's a great opportunity for everybody to try and get involved in.
And a lifelong Sunderland fan yourself, what does it mean to play at this Stadium of Light?
It's wild. I normally sit over there, so it's a bit strange to be down here, you know. It's class.
Okay then, Patrick, over to you then. Could you please put your hands together, everyone, for Sunderland emerging musician Patrick Gosling.
The same way, moving around to the beat of the drum, and I'll scream my heart out till my lungs give up. And listen to the sound, feel the world spin around. Keep doing what you do and keep your feet on the ground. Sing it out proud, put your hand on your chest. Your days could be over one day from the next. Regain that feeling, something to believe in, something to believe in. Now I'm alright. Regain that feeling, something to believe in, something to believe in. I'm doing alright. It brings you down, it may kick you a bit while you're carrying the weight of the world. If you had it in you, you'd be cooler than this. Yeah, no boy, you're grafting all the girls. Listen to the sound, feel the world spin around. Keep doing what you do and keep your feet on the ground. Sing it out proud, put your hand on your chest. Your days could be over one day from the next. Regain that feeling, something to believe in, something to believe in. Now I'm alright. Regain that feeling, something to believe in, something to believe in. Doing alright, doing alright. Thank you. Right, nice one. I've got one more song left. It's called The Water. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this. It's mad. Away the lads. And I'll wait here forever if you want me to. I'll wear that favorite sweater in spite of what the weather says to do. And I'll try, but your memories hurt the most. I watch the tide spill to the coast as the waves are forming in the different cities. drink the water, but heaven knows I'm the one who loves you most. You drink the water, you drink the water from the coast. You drink the water, you drink the water from the coast. Oh, to be that young again, I'd do it differently, my friend. I'd outright tell her how I feel. I don't know why we never tried. Maybe I was a little shy. I guess it comes with being in love. Oh, baby, it was rough. Do you like the way it stings? You're at the edge of everything. You drink the water, but heaven knows I'm the one who loves you most. You drink the water, you drink the water from the coast. You drink the water, you drink the water from the coast. Thank you very much.
Everyone, let's interview everyone for the first musician to play at the Stadium of Light since the city gained Music City status, Patrick Gosling. Right, live music here at the Stadium of Light. That was pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was excellent, yeah.
Well done to
Good
Patrick
stuff.
as well. We're back onto football now. Let's have a look at Plymouth Argyle and how they set up this afternoon then. And they've made changes, as you would expect.
Yeah, they have, yeah. It's interesting, though, that, as I said, they were 5-0 down at the break against Burnley in midweek at home as well. But interesting is that the back three have stayed as they were. It's changes around the pitch, middle of the park, really, and one up front as well. So, yeah, he's trying to get a tune out of Newman's come in. A couple of games in charge now. He's still looking for that first win. And it's going to be a difficult one for him this afternoon. And on top of that, they lost Morgan Whittaker yesterday to Middlesbrough. So, it's not going great for him at this moment in time. And
No, to be honest though, he is one of their best players. He hasn't had a great season.
No, last year I think it was 20 goals in team of the season. I think he was on 3 this year, and that's where they're obviously struggling at the top end as well, really. They've got three or four players who've scored 3 goals. But yeah, obviously shipping goals as well, especially on the road. So they'll come up here today. Everybody, I think, knows how the game's going to go. We're going to have a lot on the ball. They're going to sit in deep, compact, try and hit us on the counter-attack. So we're going to have to be patient probably at times.
But they do concede goals, Danny.
Well, they do indeed,
especially on the road.
But yeah, as we said there, you know, nobody perhaps would have thought Hull were going to go to Sheffield United last night and win 3-0. But that's how football can work, can't it? So we've got to be at it tonight. I think last couple, you know, Burnley, we came into the game in the second half, started slow there. I thought we started slow at Derby as well, and then came into the game really. But, you know, when you've got 40-odd thousand Sunderland fans in the stadium, like, they want to see us at it with a good tempo, moving the ball with a bit of purpose early on. So I'm sure that's what Regis and the coaching staff are saying to the lads there.
Let's have another look at Sunderland then, here at the Stadium of Light. It's a 3 p.m. kick-off, Sunderland versus Plymouth Argyle. And the lads wanting to extend that unbeaten record here at the Stadium of Light. It's been a fortress for them this season in the league. And they've made a couple of changes from Tuesday. A bit of rotation going on, maybe. Yeah,
possibly. Yeah, as I said, though, I'm surprised that he has probably, obviously, the match winner in midweek was Meander, and he's come out on the side. I probably would have gone with the 2, but that's what he's gone for. You know, Patrick Roberts coming back in on that right-hand side, and Samed coming in the middle of the midfield 3, really. Whether they set, it might be a 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3. We'll have to wait and see. But again, that's just 1 or 2 players shifting a couple of yards, isn't it? But yeah, that's the gist of it. How we're going to go. Lefay, I think, over on that left-hand side, the back 4, and Anthony Patterson as they were.
Thank you very much, Danny. We're going to be joined very soon by club historian Rob Mason. I think he's running late on the radio. He's very much in demand on a match day, is Rob Mason. What do you think about Plymouth's survival hopes then, given the position they're in at this moment in the league?
Yeah, so you've got, looking at the table, I'm not sure if we've got it there where we can throw it up, but they've got 6 or 7 teams in there which are all fighting for those places.
Let's have a look
really.
at the table
so
if we can.
Yeah, throw it up on there, the bottom of the table. We'll have a look at it. Yeah. You know, they're in danger of, say, getting caught adrift, really.
I mean, that's the top, but
yeah.
if we could look at the bottom, I mean, we'll come on to that.
Yeah, no, they are. I mean, in terms of the points there, so you see they're already 5 points behind Luton. And, you know, even to get out of it there, they've got to get 7 points. And then you look at the goal difference on top of that as well, which is miles behind everybody else. So it's an uphill task. But stranger things have happened. If they can get a win and then string 1 or 2 together, generally home park is where obviously they've picked up a lot of their points. They've only got 3 points on the road so far this season, which is massively disappointing to say the least, isn't it, from their point of view. But there's a lot of teams down there. Nobody expected Luton to be in that position, I wouldn't have thought. But yeah, teams are scrapping away, trying to get out of it, aren't they? And you've got to string a few results together, and that gives you a lifeline.
If we can have a look at the top of the table, because Sunderland can make some ground this afternoon, Danny.
Yeah, no, it's been a bit of leapfrog, hasn't it, in the last couple of weeks, with not the top 4 really not playing on the same day, and then obviously in midweek we played, and who else played? Burnley? No, sorry, it was Leeds, wasn't it, I think, and then the other teams are playing the nights after, really, and it's been a leapfrog going on, but we're still right amongst it. Look, we're 10 points there down to Middlesbrough, so we got a nice cushion to them. Obviously, we've got to go to Elland Road. We finished with Sheffield United, you know, took 3 points off them, took 4 points off Burnley. So yeah, we're more than held our own, and when we're at it, when we turn up, we can match anybody, but there's still a long way to go, and it's a massive 3 points today, as we say.
If we get it, of course.
With Leeds and Burnley, is it a draw? Probably even maybe Leeds winning, really. And I said it there. I think that Leeds will nick one of the 2 places, the automatic spots. Maybe a win for them against Burnley, and it keeps Burnley in there. You know, if we win today, we go above Burnley, and then all of a sudden they're trying to play catch up. Then listen. We're stood here, we're chatting about it. It's got to be to and throughout the remainder of the season. Still a lot of games to go, but we've just got to focus and concentrate on ourselves as well. Okay, then that's a league. There was a few kickoffs earlier today which weren't included in that as well, just to make that clear as well. So 3 p.m. kickoff here, the Stadium of Light. Conditions, how would you describe the conditions this afternoon, Danny? We had big wins here yesterday, but none today. Yesterday, it's settled down, hasn't it? No, it's blue skies above now. Decent service as usual. Looking for a good game of football, really. I think it'll be obviously attack v defence for a lot of it, as we expect. I don't think.
So what's the mindset from the Sunderland players? What's Regis and his coaching staff telling these players then? Patience. Pass it around.
Yeah, I would certainly say. Yeah, I would certainly say move the ball a little bit quicker if we can do. Yeah, you know, 1 or 2 touch. Don't take it 3, 4, 5, and then allows Plymouth to get back into their shape. Because as I always say, doesn't matter what level you're playing at. You know, you look at the likes of Man City. More often than not, they're coming up against teams at the Etihad. They want to sit deep and make it difficult. But if you're moving the ball quicker, that's where you get your opportunities. Where somebody switches off, the legs start to get a little bit heavy. They can't quite get there. But early on, though. Tempo, it's a lovely 6 surface, move the ball quick, get it out wide, use the width of the pitch, and then you might get your little pockets to play in.
Yeah, also, next game for Sunderland is Middlesbrough away. We're not playing until the Monday as well.
Right, yeah.
You know, that's going to help some players come back maybe as well. There must be some of those injured players, must be there or thereabouts right now.
Yeah, but obviously we've just come off the back of a 3-game week, isn't it? Well, obviously finishing with this one today, really, and then you've got a nice break then up until Middlesbrough on that Monday, so that's going to be a big game. But as you say, Poveda is on the bench. You know, he played in midweek against Benfica, scored a good goal.
And Alexic as well.
Alexic scored a good goal. I've seen that in Alexic. What I've liked about him, he picks up the ball and he's got a good burst of pace over sort of 10 yards, and that's sort of summed up in that goal he scored in midweek as well. So I'm just looking, said to you there before they look at the bench there now, and I think yes, we're probably still trying to add maybe another striker. People would argue maybe a full-back possibly as well. But I look at the bench there.
Because of the Adji injury.
Yeah, Adji picking that up as well, and obviously maybe a bit of cover. I know Luke can go and do a job at full-back, but obviously you're looking at Trey there. If Trey was to pick up an injury, we haven't really got a proper cover as a full-back there, really. So maybe 1 or 2 positions, but the strength in depth looks quite good all of a sudden, as you say. I don't think Remain's a couple of weeks off as well.
Yeah.
He's back out on the grass, I think, isn't he? So, and there's Mr. Rob Mason just joining us now.
Rob Mason, come and jump in, Rob. Jump in between us for this one. Hello, you've been busy.
Just a bit, yes, but busy for a good cause, looking forward to the game.
Okay. We've been speaking about the game. Nothing's a given in football, especially when you're playing the side at the bottom of the division.
Absolutely. If anybody thinks we've just got to turn up and win today, I simply refer them to Bramall Lane last night, who would have seen Hull winning 3-0 at Sheffield United.
Just said that, Rob, 2 minutes ago.
All right, well, see, great minds think alike, and so do yours and mine, Danny, even if they're not great. Yeah.
Having said that, a huge opportunity for Sunderland.
It is, of course. Absolutely. With Sheffield having lost at home surprisingly last night, with Burnley and Leeds playing each other on Monday night, great opportunity for Sunderland today. We've got to make the most of it. Don't forget, and you may well have said this as well, when we played Plymouth away, they hadn't won a game. We'd won every game. What happens? Plymouth beat us. They haven't won an away game this season. We haven't lost a home game in the league, at least. But in the FA Cup recently, we lost at home. They won away to Brentford, another team in red and white stripes they weren't expected to beat. So, difficult game. We've got to, if Sunderland are at their best today and Plymouth are at their best today, Sunderland will win handsomely. But if Plymouth are at their best and Sunderland are not quite at it, we'll be in for a shock, a surprise, and a major disappointment. Despite the fact we've had a fantastic season, we can all sit back and look at a number of games where we think, if only we'd not given away that last-minute penalty, if only we'd not missed that late penalty.
Well, they scored in the 90th minute, didn't they?
If only we'd not done this, that or the other. We've chucked away a lot of points this season. We don't want to chuck away anymore. We've done so well this season that here we are now, late January, in a fantastic position as one of 4 teams looking for 2 automatic places. We've got to make sure we take every opportunity, and this is a huge opportunity. If we can win this game, I'll take 1-0 now. A lot of people are talking about improving the goal difference, 4 and 5-0. I'll take 1-0 now. As long as we get the 3 points, that's all that matters. If we get a bigger win than that, happy days. But let's just win the game.
Just before you give us one of your historical facts, Rob, have you seen the team today? What do you think?
Can
we just throw the team up on the graphic there and then you can have a look at it?
I'm surprised at the team.
Have you got it the same as I've got it here, Rob? Just have a quick look.
Let's have a look at what you've got.
I've got Samed just sat in there. Dan Neil pushed on alongside Joe, a little bit higher this afternoon.
That's a good point. I thought that if and when either Rigg, Job or Neil were going to be left out, that the motivation for that would be to get Lefebvre more central. That doesn't appear to be going to happen.
Are you surprised that Mayender's dropped to the bench this afternoon or rested?
I think Mayender deserves to be in the team, but I'm never unhappy that Patrick Roberts is in the team. I always think if I'm in the visiting dressing room, when the Sunderland team sheet comes in, if Patrick Roberts isn't in it, I'm breathing a sigh of relief. You tell me you're a defender. You think, I don't want twisted blood all afternoon with him.
No, of course,
So I'm never sorry to see Patrick in the team. I like him, but I think Mayender's done enough to be in the team today. I think the key factor is, I think Danny's right, Samed will sit in front of the back 4. We're not going to have 2 players sat in front of the back 4 against the team bottom of the league. So this is the key thing for me is, this would appear to be going to give Dan Neil more licence to go forward. And although I like Dan Neil in what's now called the 6th role, I think he does a good job there, a better job than people give him credit for. I actually think Dan Neil's at his best when he's further forward. He sees this incisive slide rule pass, and I wouldn't be at all surprised today if he slots 1 or 2 intricate balls through for Wilson Isidore to run onto. He'll have more opportunity to do that today. But an interesting team selection. You know, I'm one of those sad people who the night before every game I'm lying in bed thinking who's going to play and where they're going to play. And I've done that for like 50 odd years. And as I was thinking that last night, never in my wildest dreams did I think, I'm going to get the team I was going to get today with Samed starting. But he's a good player, he's an international. We just haven't seen much of him. And this is an opportunity for him as well. Big day for him after he's been here for months and months, waiting for a big chance in the league.
Bob, we've got to wrap it up there.
Cheers.
Thanks so much for coming down. I know you've been busy. Thanks so much, Rob. Okay then, 3 p.m. kickoff here at the Stadium of Light. Not long to go. The lads are getting all the stuff back in from the warm-up. 3 p.m. kickoff. If you want to join us for that, you can get your matchday streaming passes right now at safc.com. It's goodbye to all of you who are watching the pre-game programme on YouTube. Come with us for the full ride. Get your tickets right now. Around the world, of course, and take part in the post-game programme. Hashtag Ask Danny. You all know the score by now. Come on.
Sport, it's not just a game. It's in your DNA. Like us, you live and breathe every moment. You dissect, navigate, and analyze. At SpreadX, we bring you a world of betting where flexibility and precision are at your fingertips. With real-time analysis across all devices, wherever you are. Enjoy sports betting that's data-driven. Next level action. SpreadX. It's in our DNA.
opportunity here. Oh, how cool is that? How cool is that? From Chris Rigg.